I've noticed that there is a lot of confusion about the Witcher schools, especially which ones are canon and which ones are not. So in this video, I just want to clarify which schools are real and which ones are not. To be clear, this is all based on what we know of the schools at the time in which I record this video. Future changes can be made. When it comes to the books, with which I mean the ones written by Andrzej Sapkowski, there are three Witcher schools: the wolf, the cat and the griffin. These three schools are kind of the basic schools, but in the original books there's not really much on the griffin school. The books of course mainly focus on Geralt, and of course we do get to meet some other Witchers from the school of the wolf like Vesemir, Eskel and Lambert. In the Season of Storms we got a first real look at a cat Witcher. At least it was the first real memorable interaction with one, that one being Brayhen. There were mentions of the schools in other ways, like for example the fact that Leo Bonhart had three Witcher medallions: a wolf, a cat and a griffin. But what about the other schools? Well, you probably know the Viper and the Bear. The Viper school got introduced in Witcher 2, with Letho and his Kingslayers. The Bear we only really saw traces of in Witcher 3 with the armor quests. But this one also got expanded upon in Thronebreaker with Ivo of Belhaven. And then we have the last of the Witcher schools from the games, the school of the Manticore. We know almost nothing about this school, but it is possible we will get more information in the future. To summarize, the cat, wolf and griffin are canon to the books. The games add three more schools to this list with the bear, viper and manticore. And then there's the school of the crane. I give this school a bit more credit than a random fanfiction school because it was in a published book, with both Witcher in the title and it was credited with Sapkowski's name on it, but the book was not written by him. We've seen in the past that sometimes the games take bits and pieces from these books and makes them canon to the games. So, what about all the other schools? Well, the school of the snail was a joke made by Geralt. I've seen some people online be confused about it, but to be clear, there is no school of the snail. But what about all the others you might have heard about? I'll quickly list off the names. There are Raven, Krails, Fox, Hawk, Clavicus, Crayon, Leshen, Lynx, Tiger, Chameleon, Mantis, Dragon, Wyvern, Slizzard, Lungonite, Singeron, Owl, Mammoth, Siren, Wahila, Scorpion, Panther, Lion, Cobra, Phoenix, Rhino, Koala, Raccoon, Boar, Flamingo, Condor, Lynx and Bat. These 35 schools are not canon to either the books or the games. They are fanfiction and you can find more on them on the fanfiction wiki, a lot of which is unlikely to make their way into the games. But of course you never know what they might do at some point. But to be clear, that entire list was not canon to the books and games. I mean, technically you could think of your own Witcher school, about the specializations and story, and while it's fanfiction, it could be headcanon to you. Your headcanon can be what you want to be. The Witcher is not real life history, it's entertainment. But for the sake of consistency, I choose to limit the things I cover to what to talk about, at least, to have some weight behind it when it comes to being published. Whether it comes from Sapkowski or CDPR, I'll base the information in these videos on what they have made and what is done by the companies they have worked with on other Witcher materials. Examples of this are the pen and paper RPG, the old one and the new one, the comics made by Dark Horse in cooperation with CD Projekt Red, and until some extent the Netflix show. Although the show contradicts so much from the books at times that I'm very hesitant to ever use direct information for it for videos besides referencing or comparing parts of it to the books and games. So to say it one last time, the books have three schools: the wolf, cat and griffin. The games have added three more: the viper, bear and manticore. Then there's the school of the crane, which might one day in some way, shape or form become a part of a game canon. And then there are those 35 other schools. They are not official schools, they are fanfiction, and there's nothing wrong with that. If one of these gets popular enough, they might get made into an actual school in a future game maybe. So if you want to do it, create your own school. Create stories of your imagined Witchers, and share them with those who are interested. Because this is all about you enjoying it. There are no laws to dictate what is true when it comes to a work of fiction like The Witcher. So go on and have fun with it. As long as you don't force the schools you create or enjoy on others that want to stick with the game and book canon, I'm fine with it. So, are there any schools you find interesting? Till the next video. Bye.